I don't want the people at home to think they tuned into the wrong channel. This is a
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. This is the Fall Session 2025 Mentor Program. And we have 9 mentors tonight that we are going to give the stage, and they're going to explain to you what they do, how they do it, what they want, all the, the things you need to know as mentees when you make your choice to sign up for them. So I want to just make a couple of notes, first of all. Make this quick. What makes a good mentor? A good mentor is someone who's enthusiastic, someone who is talented, someone who's going to kind of take you under their wing and show you what they know and help you become a better photographer. What makes a good mentee? You show up. You are prepared. You are on time. You are also enthusiastic. And you do what your mentor asks you to do so that it works for both of you. What is the mentor program all about? The mentor program is about putting photographers with photographers. I think that's one of the mottos of the club. I don't know how long the mentor program has been active. I've talked to a couple of people. I kind of get about 10 years. But it is a wonderful program. I've been a mentee a couple of times myself, and I just think it's an excellent opportunity to put photographers together. And, as one of our mentors says, I'll learn from you, you learn from me. So that's also a plus. What makes a successful mentor-mentee collaboration? And I guess, again, enthusiasm, willingness to learn, availability, commitment. And I'll just leave it at that short list there, and I'm sure more will come out in the evening. So without further ado, you each have one of these sheets, I hope, and this has each of the mentors' names on it. So they will come up one at a time. They're going to show you some of their images. They're going to present their program. And if you have questions, I would ask that you just keep your questions until the mentor has completed his or her presentation. So, any questions right now? Good. Chris Bosworth, our first mentor.
I'm quitting now because I got in a pause. Okay, those of you at home can't see it. You mentors, there's a blue X on the floor. I'm told if I don't stand on this, a trap door opens and I'll disappear. So I've been with the mentoring program ever since they started, and it really comes off of they're signaling behind me to change slides. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, let's see what we got. Turn it on. It's on. Okay. Meet the mentors. Welcome, everybody. Okay. Chris Bob. Oh, that's me. All right. So here we are. So I think I got started in the mentoring program because I've been a member of the club for about 20 years, and early on I started helping out with the fundamentals class, and I recognized right away, the fundamentals class is great, but there would always be a few people at the end who just kind of felt like they would like more. Like it didn't quite connect. Maybe they're not able to connect the exposure triangle with how their camera works. So that's what I do. I'm like the beginner. You can hear other mentors that do just incredible things. I'm kind of like your beginner level of a mentor. I don't have any particular, yeah, there we go. What's that? Oh, wow. I didn't expect this. This is cool. This is awesome. I've got Cliff Notes and I didn't even know it. Okay, so I live in North Olmsted. I shoot, I think that's right. You got that right. I shoot with Canon, Fuji, Sony, anything. I mean, if you got a Nikon, we'll figure it out. I have general interest. You'll see from some of my pictures. I think some of my pictures are here. Okay, I can do anything from macro. We'll do a night shoot. My availability is weekdays, some Saturday mornings. We're going to do one night shoot. I always get one night shoot in. For the most part, consider me a weekday, and we're going to see how the weather goes. And I'm not a real morning person, and I do have a lot of commitments that happen late afternoon, early evening, but we will work together on that. Short distance walking is definite. I've got two artificial knees, so they don't like to move around a lot. You only need a tripod and a remote shutter release for some things. So I guess we're going to go through some pictures here, but let me explain what we're going to do. I'll meet with you the first time and we'll sit down under shaded pavilion. So if it rains, it doesn't matter. And we'll look at your camera and see what you don't understand. Basically, I want to assess where are you and what do you want to know? How can I serve you is what it's about. Then I always do like a waterfall shot because they're just fun. It's going to be fall. Maybe when the leaves change, we'll do some of those. But a lot of it's going to be dependent. I'm not clicking here, Richard. It's not working. Okay. So there's a night shot. I've been able the last 4 mentoring sessions, we'll go out together and do a night shot. So when I say together, I meet one-on-one with people. So it's an individualized thing, except for the night shoot. The night shoot for safety and whatnot, we'll get together, however many mentees I have, and we'll go a night shoot, and they're just hysterically fun. So much of it is going to be, what do you want from me? We're going to do, generally I wind up doing 4 shoots on average. So some people, after 3 times together, they say, you know what, you've shown me everything I needed to know. I'm ready to move on to something else, and I'm not offended. Some others maybe didn't quite catch a grasp in 3 sessions, and we'll do another one. So a session to me is about 2 hours. I figure after about 2 hours, we're kind of like scaling down or getting tired, or you got mental overload or whatever. But so figure 4 times, 2 hours each time. I generally stay on the west side, like from Brecksville to Northridge. I'll work with you anywhere in there. I like to center around. Olmsted Falls has some great waterfalls. We'll shoot at least once there. And if you've got some place in that general area that you want to shoot, we'll do that too. So there's an Olmsted Falls watershed. Everybody's probably familiar with that one. And that's not me. So I think I covered everything. Are there questions now? Anybody have questions? Did I miss something? Doing good? Okay. So Brian, Mr. Reardon, make sure you stand on that blue X.
Which blue X?
That one.
That blue X.
And it's that button.
Which button? Okay, let's see. Okay, and I want to thank all the people who sent me their best wishes. I'm feeling much better right now. Okay. A lot of things that Chris said. Let's see if we can get to. There we go. A lot of things that Chris said, I will echo. I've been in the mentoring program just about as long as it's existed. I can't remember when I wasn't. My photographic interests are kind of broad, and in a lot of cases it's personal, but the one thing that kind of ties them all together is that I take photos of things that I like, and then they always have a story behind them. And so what I attempt to do with my photography is tell a story. So the communication aspect of photography is important to me. That's what I'd like to work with you about, communication. I also do some creativity stuff as well. I'm retired. I'm old. I have lots of availability. Wait a minute, what happened there? Okay. My activity level is I'm not going to go climbing places, although I have been known to climb up to trees, not with good result. And no special gear. I probably won't want to do much tripod work or anything like that. Mentee level, beginner, intermediate, we will work together. The way I like to work is that we will meet first for a session, sit down one-on-one. We'll go through all the your familiarity with your camera, what it is you want to accomplish. I might give you some assignments or some other things, but we will talk and try to figure out where we're going to go from there. It can be almost in any direction. A lot of what I will be doing is looking at your photographs and talking about them with you. There will be some opportunity for field trips, although I usually like to do the field trips one-on-one. So I have more than 1 or 2 mentees, We're going to try to schedule them together, just conserve time. But we'll find interesting places to go. You and I will figure that out. Okay, I have some photos. And like I say, each one has a story, and each story is probably going to last 15 to 20 minutes. And I know you're all breathing a sigh of relief because I'm only going to take about 2 seconds. This is about airplanes. I like airplanes. This is a travel photo. This is from Hawaii, and it's one of the prettier wind farms that I've seen. This is Frank. He's a good friend of mine. I see him every time we go to Hawaii. And for some reason, he seems to know that I'm coming and perches himself on a rock or the sand so I can say hello. This is a flower. Giant blue poppy, and one of my favorite flower shots. And I'm clumsy. Okay. Well, there we go. People. I go to a lot of reenactments, and there is a reenactment coming up at Zor with the Civil War. It's every bit as good as Hale Farm, and maybe in some ways better. It varies from year to year, but it can be a lot of fun. I dab in some sort of creative manipulation of photographs, and this one is simply a mood that I was trying to create with the oil paint filter. Of course, there are other things we did too, and we can always talk about those. And then I try to get you to look at things differently. Now, when you look at this, at first, I don't know what your first reaction is, but it looks kind of strange, and it looks like it's upside down. And it was the other way up. But by turning it over, you get kind of an entirely different impression. One of the things I would like to emphasize with you in the course of our mentor to mentee interaction is that you want to look at things in as many possible ways as you can and pick and choose. And then finally, when I really mess around, this is a creative endeavor that I did, and I really can't tell you any more about it because it's classified. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. There we go.
Hi, everybody. Oh, what do I have to do with this? Oh, the photos. Okay. I'm Kim Vashaleski. Oh, blue dot. Sorry. The pressure. That's me. That's Bruce Orr's picture. Bruce is right there. He's my CPS husband. Yes, my real husband knows about him. So, boy, that joke fell flat. Okay, good thing I'm really good at photography because obviously I'm not a comedian. So hold on. There we go. So I live in Strongsville. I'm familiar with the West Side. I also have models on the West Side. So I'm open to, if you're from the East Side, if you know of a location or a model, I'm willing to travel. Let's see. I shoot Nikon. Anything is acceptable as long as you know how to work your camera or a little bit. We'll work with that, and you can bring your owner's manual. Portraiture is what I adore. I love people most of the time. So I will say that one of my superpowers is getting total strangers to pose for me. So that's kind of fun when you're going like to festivals or whatever. Availability, this is so important. If you work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, do not pick me. I am leaning toward Wednesdays. I now have entered into a job transition, and I've arranged to have Wednesdays free because that was my day off on my other job. So I'm semi-retired, I guess you could say. Preferred equipment, let's see, activity level. We're going to do indoor and outdoor. It's going to be weather dependent. My yard right now is gorgeous, a wonderful backdrop for portraiture. But the heavens are going to open up Thursday. So it's going to be weather dependent if we do indoors or outdoors. Let's see, special gear. I would like a tripod if possible. I do have a couple you can borrow. Prime lens is great for portraiture. You don't have to have one. Lightroom Classic is something that we're going to do editing in and our review, our image review, and Zoom. Please, Zoom's not that hard. I know some people, I've had experience with some mentees that their Zoom didn't work or something didn't work. Their camera didn't work. I'm like, okay, that's not going to work. So install Zoom on your computer so we can get it going here. Flash or speed light, we can work with that. Depending on who I get, I've become a speedlight beast lately. So I'm all excited that I finally figured it out. I'm one of those people that had my speedlights in the box for a year before I even opened it up. And now I'm having fun. So, okay, hold on. So I took a page out of Dennis and Rick's mentoring, whatever. I actually have a plan. I have a plan instead of let's all get together and take pretty pictures. I have a plan. We're going to start with natural light, focus, depth of field, storytelling. We're going to focus on working with subjects, getting them to pose. You might have Krabby Dad in the family photo. I do have a few people that are actually models that I know that I might try and get to come. I will try and have someone every time we meet. If not, I'll reach out to you. I do the big Facebook call. Hey, anyone want a free photo shoot? And are you available Wednesdays? And I've been pretty successful with that. Free images, everybody loves free. So we're going to meet one Wednesday, have an image review the next Wednesday, and so on. We will also learn to critique each other. I think that's important too, to get comfortable with that. So I've got a meeting on September 17th at my house as our kickoff where we'll sit down with our calendars. I don't have a problem with morning or afternoon on Wednesday. If all of you like to sleep in and you want to meet afternoon, the majority will rule. So we might do a few field trips. I'm also in charge of field trips. If anybody wants to come Sunday, Tunnels to Towers in Medina, check our calendar. Awesome images, tons of people, very handsome firemen in gear. You can't miss. You can't miss. I also recommend next week, Fresh Fest on September 13th. That's another visual feast at Soka. I'll be at that one too. So I actually brought little handouts with my number. If you want to call me beforehand and meet me at any of these field trips, I'll start mentoring you right away. Photography is my happy place. I feel like I'm a good teacher. I'm very hands-on. So we're not going to sit, fiddle with our dials and wait for us to learn our camera before we go out. No, you're just going to get out and shoot. That's my whole philosophy. And that's how I learned. And my famous saying is, no one ever died from taking a bad photo. So you need to be fearless, and I'm going to coach you into doing that. You just go out in your shoot, and if you take a bad photo, you're not going to die, I promise. So join me for a fun and joyous learning experience. Oh, sorry. Okay, so whoops, hold on. Oh, those are the dates. See, I followed the directions. Call me Dennis and Rick. I just wanted you to know about those field trips too, and they're free. Hold on. What am I doing? Okay, that's our famous Eric. I'm the photographer of the photographers lately. So, or mostly I say, oh, for God's sakes, you need a headshot. Let me take it. So. And that is Francesca. She's one of my students. Actually, she has committed to she's a personal trainer. She wants to do a sports photo shoot, like of her jumping or running or, So that was a fun gizmo my husband built that rained water down in front of her. And we can even play with that, weather permitting. Let's see. That's my granddaughter, May, the cutest baby that ever lived. She's so cute. I don't know if she'll model for us because right now she's toddling. It's like you have to run fast with your camera on a very high shutter. Oh, there she is again. She's one there. She's past one now. This was when I was in beast mode. This was inside I have a teeny tiny studio in the basement, which I can actually bring the backdrop upstairs, depending on how many of us there are. But I had a goal with this, and I believe I hit it. And she really is a model. That's the easiest thing in the world when someone is comfortable in front of the camera, and most of the time people are not. So we will learn to make them comfortable. That's one of my authors. Seems to be my niche lately. I have 3 author book cover photos lately, and on occasion I get paid. So, and that's Dave. Never mind. Any questions? Yes. Okay. Any special lighting gear was the question. If you have a speed light, we will learn together how to use your speed light or a flash. So I have my speed lights. You can use my speed lights all you want, but when you get out there on your own, you're going to be lost without my speed lights. So if you've got speed lights and they're still in the box, let's get them out. You know, I mean, it will be fun. I figure if I can learn speed lights, anybody can. Just saying. Anybody else? Because it might be raining for the next 5 months and we will have to be inside. No, Thursday. I'm sorry, or snowing. Guys, it's Cleveland. Come on. All right. Then I thank you for your attention. Where's Dave? Is he here? Come on back. Come on down. Sorry. And I will be available for questions. And I have a handout with my phone number on it if you want to call me and ask questions. I have handouts. Pick me, pick me. There you go. Here's the clicker. Stand on the blue dot. Blue.
I got the message from Richard here.
Here, I'm going to put this here.
Okay. Nice to see a lot of familiar faces here. My name is Dave Saborik. I live in Monroe Falls. I shoot Sony. I use a tripod frequently, but not always. Oh, there is an information sheet. Oh, wow. Well, let me see if everything's accurate up here. Availability and activity level. I have arthritis, so some of you know I move very slowly. But I move. I do. Venti level, any level, okay. Everything's accurate. Okie doke, we can go on to the first slide. This. Okay, I'm not sure this was either taken last year or the year before. Brian might recognize this. It's from a Civil War reenactment, and this is one Brian referred to at Zor Village, which is coming up here in a couple weeks. And if you join my group, that'll be on our itinerary. Do I click it at Richard? Right side. I thought I hit that, but evidently not. Okay, also, if you join me, this will be on our itinerary. We're going to meet on Saturdays. The Zor reenactment is on a Saturday. And Sunday, we will go to Maria's Prayers from Maria, Sunflower Field. I do like taking pictures of flowers, and I take a lot of them. Oftentimes, and at the Sunflower Field, I'm trying to get something different. I'm looking at the flowers quite often from behind instead of straight on. And quite often, I love to take flowers that are backlit. So this is a backlit sunflower at the field there. And a bug always adds a little interest to the picture. This is taken on club field trip to Back to the Wild, which is on a Saturday, and that's part of why we will be meeting on Saturdays. So if you join me, we will be going on that club activity. Wait. And if you join me, this event is on a Saturday also. Day of the Dead up in Cleveland. And I think, Chris, you were in a picture with this lady. She was, her daughter is a professional artist, and she did her face for her. But Day of the Dead is a wonderful cultural event. As you can see, people get dressed for the occasion. If you watch the movie Coco, this is it. Happens in Cleveland at the beginning of November every year. So her daughter is a professional artist, did the paint job on her. So we'll be going up there around 11 o'clock in the morning. It opens at 10. You can come earlier. I probably will. But there's a parade like at 3:30. So you can stay for the whole day with me if you want, or you could come and go as you need to. So basically, I think, have I showed you 4 pictures? Okay, so I've showed you 4 pictures. Those are the 4 actually scheduled events on Saturday. And then there's 2 other days comes before the Day of the Dead, where as a group, we will pick what we want to do. It's fall. Fall color will be gorgeous. We can do something scenic. Eric, I was up at the zoo today photographing that giraffe. So if you want, we can go up to the zoo. We can do some indoor things, but it'll be up to us as a group to pick those other 2 days. So here's the schedule I came up with, and we're going to skip that first one. Sorry. You schedule that, right? I don't really know what it is, and I looked online and I couldn't figure out exactly what it was either. So I'm not going to walk into it blind with you. So I'm scratching that one, Fresh Fest. I'll go, and you can join me there if you want, also on a Saturday. So all of these events are on Saturday. Zor, Civil War, Sunflowers, and Avon. We'll pick it together a couple days. Back to the Wild, and Day of the Dead. And then I crossed out September 11th since we won't be going to the Fresh Fest as a group, but we'll be meeting via Zoom or Teams, one or the other, and sharing our pictures and talking about composition and depth of field and picking an important or interesting subject matter. So we're going to meet on Thursdays, and I have printed up a couple of those schedules in case you might be interested, but we're going to skip the 11th on that. So we have 6 scheduled Saturdays and 7, I think, then Thursdays to do a before and after and share our pictures. So I'm looking forward to having fun, talking photography, taking pictures, and then sharing the pictures that we take. Questions? Aha, I got it.
Microphone here and the clicker.
You want a clicker?
Well, let's figure it out here. Hi, everybody. Bruce Orr. I'm going to go right to the information sheet. There you go. That is snazzy. Thank you, whoever did that. So I'm Bruce Orr. I've been doing the mentoring program for, I don't know, boy, at least 5, 6 years, I guess, something like that, maybe even more. I kind of lost track. Basically, what we do is we'll pick an area to go to. The group will kind of decide. We'll figure out the days and things like that. It's a little, you know, a little loose, and we'll generally on the weekend we'll go to a location. We'll do our photography, and then the following week we'll do a online session where we'll review the images and we'll do maybe some light editing and some trying different things. But basically, that's what we'll do. And we'll try and get in. I like to get in maybe like 8 sessions of photography and review, knowing that sometimes, you know, stuff doesn't work out and, you know, weather or just schedules and things happen. That's what we'll be doing. We're going to focus on black and white photography for this time as well. I did that the last time and that seemed to be a nice success. So we'll continue with that. It's, you know, it's more than just, you know, clicking the convert the black and white thing. You have to look for images that are going to work well with black and white. Not everything does, you know, so we're going to be looking for contrast, lighting, textures, and also how to develop them a little bit, doing the post-processing for doing that. It's not going to be a post-processing class by any stretch. You know, it's going to be light, you know, suggestions for doing things and whatnot, but we will be doing some editing for doing that. Given the topic, you know, many times it's going to be more of an urban setting. So some of the areas that we'll be going to is like Stone Garden, the arcade downtown Cleveland, Medina Square. That's a goodie for doing stuff. So go to those types of places. So in terms of special equipment, a tripod will be helpful for some for some of the outings, because I do like to also cover other techniques, like including motion in the photographs. You know, the panning, just longer exposures. I like to show people how to do handheld panoramas to do that well, because that's a handy thing that comes in the play many times. So that's kind of how that all goes. In terms of some images. Oh, there you go. Okay. That's one of the pictures from Stone Garden that we did as a group. That's a great location for the black and white stuff. There's all kinds of interesting topics for that. And so we'll definitely be going there, I think. Somewhere. Oddly enough, Christmas ornaments, Christmas trees and that do very well in black and white. I've gotten a lot of mileage out of this photo. I use it on Christmas cards for folks, all kinds of stuff. And, you know, again, like with the contrast and things, you can get some you know, some very, very nice looking images. Because you think that as a color image, but a color topic, but really in black and white, sometimes it could be a real nice one to do. Just things that just give some character, the stuff, you know, using the lighting and getting the textures and whatnot, you know, it's a helpful thing to do. Another one, Stone Garden, just you know, adding some tone to it as well. You know, sometimes adding a little sepia or some other tone to it is what it takes to really, you know, set it up. Like this was okay, just as good old fashioned black and white, but just adding the little touch of sepia to it, I think gave it a little extra, you know, pizzazz for doing that. I think that might be. Oh, there we have a train. And as example motion, you know, doing some panning of it. That's the old, in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, you know, they'll bring the old steam engine in and they'll do these run-bys. And so that was one of the run-bys that they do, which is we're out of, they just had that during the summer. But if you get a chance to do that, that is a great opportunity to capture some cool motion and stuff. And I think, oh, well, you see, you got one more. That is the art installation off of 77, and those are old bicycle spokes and that. And that's actually taken with a camera converted to black and white infrared. and that's get that nice, you know, the solid blacks and whatnot. So it's another thing. If you have a infrared camera, we're getting a little bit out of the season for doing that. But if you have black and white camera converted to infrared, we can do some of that as well to play around with that. So I think that's about it. Do you have any questions? All right, thank you.
All right, I'm Dave Grimmer. Oops. All right, so I live in Parma. I do shoot Nikon, but it doesn't matter what camera you use. I can deal with anything. I do a little bit of everything, but I do a lot of landscapes, cityscapes, wildlife, and then I do like to do Milky Way photography. Availability right now will be Saturdays until we get into late October, then the weekends. I do still work, and I referee soccer. So soccer, I'm always reffing on Sundays, but the season's over by the end of October. So once we get into, like I say, November, then it's, you know, it can be all weekend. Activity level, so wildlife, there will be hiking, you know, nothing's right at a parking lot. So, you know, if you are interested in doing the wildlife with me, you know, there will be some walking that'll be on there. Any type of gear, you know, if you're doing cityscapes, I do like to do the night shots with the lights on. So tripods are very helpful. Milky Way, you need a wide angle lens and a tripod. Typically wildlife, you need a zoom lens, a minimum of 400. And I really don't care what level you are. I can deal with any of it. Now, for me, I'm not structured at all. So you just tell me what you're interested that I like to do, and then we'll just arrange and we'll just do that stuff. So cityscapes, you know, I go all around the city, whether it's shooting the skyline or, you know, the theater district or anything in the city, you know. So if you're interested in that, you know, you just let me know. I do like to do landscapes, you know, lighthouses, one of the big things I like to do. I do travel around the country and do lighthouses all over the place. Actually, I think this is the third time. I usually mentor about every other year. So this was 2 years ago, and my mentee at that time, we went and we shot this lighthouse. So that was one of my last mentee trips. And I'm also a field trip kind of guy. So I just don't shoot around here. I shoot all over the place. So, you know, if you do like to travel and you don't mind hopping, I love driving. You know, I'll drive 2, 3, 4 hours, go shoot somewhere, then drive back home. It doesn't matter to me. Milky Way. So I do like to shoot Milky Way too. Problem with Northeast Ohio is not easy to shoot the Milky Way. So again, you know, if you don't mind driving to Southern Ohio. Now, the problem right now is we are getting at the end of the Milky Way season. So usually by the end of October, you can't start shooting Milky Way again until the spring. So, but I am planning on driving up to Michigan in October, taking some days off, which will be the only probably weekday thing. If you are willing to, you know, drive up to Michigan and shoot some Milky Way, provided, you know, all the weather conditions are right. So wildlife, my favorite subject are owls. So I do go out and shoot a lot of wild owls out in the wild. So most of my wildlife I do starts in the winter. So I shoot owls and ducks. And then in the spring, I'm big on the warbler migration that comes through and shoot all that. Summertime, I don't do a whole lot of wildlife. Then I'm usually doing landscapes and cityscapes and stuff like that. But if you're ever interested in owl photography, I do go to the back to the wild every once in a while, but I prefer getting them in the wild. And then just, you know, another landscape shot. Actually, my mentee and I did this one also. I called him up and said, hey, you know, the polar vortex came in, the winds were high. We went to Michigan, spent one night in Michigan and went down and photographed probably a half a dozen lighthouses that were getting the ice encrusted with them. So this is actually the place I'm planning on going to and doing the Milky Way shot. The Milky Way should be coming right up the water to the right of the picture. So October, I'm planning on going there, provided all the weather conditions are right. So I think that's it. Any questions? That is Point Betsy Lighthouse. So it's up by Frankfurt, if you're familiar with Frankfurt, a little south of Traverse City. So it's on the Lake Michigan side. 5, 6 hours. Yeah, probably about that. Oh, yeah, that all stay the night. Yeah. But I have left on, say, like a Friday night, driven up to Michigan, shot all night, and then drove back home. But I think I'm getting too old to do that anymore. Any questions?
Thank you. On the Blue X. All right. I think I might be wearing the same shirt, which is kind of awkward. That's okay, though. All right. All right, hit the next slide here. All right, so I live here in Broadview Heights, just up the road. I've been with the club for about almost a month now? Almost a month. All right. So my goal here, I guess I can go through these first. We'll kind of talk about that. A lot of Nikon guys here, which is great. I shoot the Z-mount stuff, but that really doesn't matter. If you have any new model of camera or any, camera for that matter, that is fine. I really like nature, wildlife, and I've recently gotten into concert photographs. I like to take my camera and lens into a small club and take some shots of the bands that are there. So you'll see those next. And then sports too. I worked for about 8-9 years for the Sun newspapers. I think I shot in every gym from here to Columbus. So if you want to know about shooting indoors for gyms, volleyball, all that type of stuff, please let me know. Availability, I do work 9 to 5 still. So evenings and weekends. Can be some weekdays if there's something going on, more than willing to work with you. Indoor, outdoor, anything you would like. One thing I'm not really well versed on is portrait work. I think you've got that covered, okay? But yes, I'd be more than happy to do anything you would like. So I would prefer someone to have a Z-mount, but hey, that's fine if you don't. The reason I bring that up is I have a lot of Z-mount stuff to share. So if you want to try out a lens or do anything like that, that is great too. I will admit I've got extra gear up the wazoo. So if you need a tripod, mounting plate, anything like that, please let me know. I do share a lot of stuff online using Google Drive or Dropbox, maybe using Skype. Or a Teams message or a Zoom to kind of go over some shots as well too would be great too. So you can be straight out of the class or someone that has some, knowledge. We can work with that as well too. All right. So every fall, I like to head up to Mentor Headlands Beach. There is a Monarchs that come through there. I think I took this like in 2021, 2022. This was with a 500 millimeter 5.6 mounted to a Z7 II. As I said before, I do a lot of sports. This was recently in Avon for the Lake Erie Crushers game. I think Eric was there as well too that day. And this is a concert shot that I took a couple months ago. This is actually shot with a prism in front of the lens. So I've been really getting into that stuff, getting some abstract work with the lights there. And I've had some luck selling these shots to the bands that come through town. I've seen a lot of my stuff online through their social media feeds too. This was shot at Beaver Marsh in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. I happened to get lucky on this one. I was walking through, I kind of tracked this a bird come through and I saw it walking kind of slowly in the pond there and happened to have my lens on it right when it pulled up this fish. So there's about, if you want to, I can show you the series of shots leading up to this. You got the beak going into the water, coming back up with the fish. It's really, really nice to see. And this is in Lake County, Ohio. This is Chair Factory Falls. And to bring this up as well too, I can go anywhere. I will admit I'm probably not going to go to Michigan during a storm. Okay, but anywhere in town here, I can kind of show you some nice spots to go to. And I think when you're new, just kind of getting that waterfall shot, like Chris had said as well too, is a very good place to start. Okay, but in terms of my goals for anybody that were to work with me, I'm I'm up here right now because I think in the past people have helped me to get where I'm at now. So I'm sort of maybe giving back. I want to make sure that I'm going to spread the knowledge that I have to those that are new to this and those that maybe want to learn as well too. So sort of a pay it forward type thing. And I think we can maybe learn from each other as well. I will admit, I think someone said before, no one dies by taking a bad shot. Well, I thank God for that because I would have killed a lot of people. Just because of that. So just because you take a bad shot doesn't mean you not know what you're doing. You're going to learn from those, and we'll move on to the next steps. I think that's it. Oh, I don't think so. I think our buddy Omar's up next. I'll go back. One more thing to add too. I am open to any type of schedule you would like, so we can kind of meet one-on-one or on the phone first, kind of set some of your goals up, and then go from there. Should I have wore a different shirt? Okay, gotcha.
Hello, I'm Omar. So I live in Old Brooklyn, but I shoot architecture, so we have to drive to the buildings. I shoot Canon, but any brand, any camera will work, as long as you know how to use it. I'm not big on like a lot of crazy settings. I try to like keep it on like aperture priority or something. Just focus a lot on compositions. I'm only shooting architecture, no people, no animals, maybe a tree. Saturday mornings around 8 a.m. I like to get up early and for an hour or two and just, do a nice little photo walk. So it'll be a lot of walking, indoor, outdoor, specialty gear, tripod for some shots, but mostly handheld for the type of architecture I like to shoot. Lens, anything between 24 and 400, like pretty much whatever you have will work. ND filters are optional. Yeah, and any level. Like I said, I like to keep my camera on a standard setting and focus a lot on composition. Let's see what's next. Oh yeah, so yeah, Saturday morning shoots around 8 a.m., 1 or 2 hours. If you have any questions, just email me throughout the week. I do like to share images, so it'll be like a Google Drive where we just drop all our images in there and we can comment on them. And I shoot everywhere, University Circle, everything from Oberlin, Akron, downtown. Yeah, there's my Instagram website for more photos. Yeah, this shot here is somewhere. Is that downtown? It might be downtown. I can't remember. So yeah, this is last time I was a mentor. I think last spring we went out to the ASM building and shot this. So how I like to shoot, I like to shoot the wide, get everything in the picture type of shot. And then I like to go in with my longer lens and catch like abstract details of different structures. So yes, this is an Oberlin. Again, I got the wide shot. And I like to go in and get the tight, abstract, more fine art type shots also. Let's see. In the Peter B. Lewis building. So yeah, I think I used the ND filter for that because the clouds are kind of moving a little bit. So that's probably 24 millimeters. Then I like to go in with my 400 and get different detail shots. Again, Terminal Tower, you got like your more environmental type shot. And then this more abstract. That's actually shot through like the Cleveland Scripps sign in Edgewater. I think that might be it. Yeah, that's it. So yeah. So, any questions? I'll be around for more questions afterwards.
right. My name is Amy, and fun fact is Omar, I was on some of those mentoring, those photos when you took them kind of thing. But the photo that I'm sharing here is from an assignment from 52 Frames. And so what I'd like to do, maybe a little bit different because yeah, okay, perfect. So you did use the program description? Okay, all right. I was a foot off, goodness gracious. Okay, all right, so I shoot Nikon. What you're gonna find is that the idea is you can use any camera you want, including I'm encouraging people to use mobile because I've phoned it in a few times. And when I talk about 52 Frames in just a second, my photography interests are all over the place. I was mentored by Omar, I was mentored by Dave. Jackie's here as well. And who am I missing? I'm missing one other person, I think. My apologies. Shouldn't do that in front of a big group. But activity level, I'll go anywhere. I'll climb trees and do whatever we want to do. There's no special gear needed. And I do encourage any level to participate because I think the value of what I have to offer here is about 52 Frames. If you're not familiar with it, it's a website where they put out a challenge every week and you have to take the photo during the week. I see someone in the back nodding their head on it. And the reason I'm offering this mentorship, to the point made earlier, is I got a lot of coaching from folks in the room here. And I've also used many of the programs that the club has put on to kind of move it into the next week and use the prompt that's out there. So for me, it's about consistency. Every week we do a photo. My thought we would do it for 6 to 8 weeks. And the creativity. They give you a prompt. You don't have to go out. You don't have to stay in a box, so to speak. You can be very interpretive or very literal with what that prompt is. I've been doing this for a couple years now. My streak is up to 93, but I think I've got 140 photos online or something close to that. The format that I was looking to use was on Sunday nights because the photo is due at midnight on Sunday nights, is we would have some sort of virtual meeting. I'm a Teams person. Use that as an opportunity to, if you aren't sure what you want to submit to 52 Frames, which I forgot to mention is completely free, the online venue. But we could do some last minute discussions around what you're submitting and then talk about the challenge that's in the coming week because we have from Monday until Sunday to submit the photo online. I was thinking of a private Facebook group. We can figure out if that doesn't work for everybody. We can figure out another way to share photos, but to connect during the week. And then each week we would determine a place where we could go and try our ideas, whether that be still life, landscape, whatever. What I will say is I'm relatively new to the club. I think I can hold my own in a conversation. I'm not an expert like the other folks in here, but what I am an expert in is how to try stuff and how to figure it out and how to help you and maybe connect us with the right people. So I wanted to talk through a couple of the photos that you see up here to give you an idea of the prompts. The one on the left was imitate a famous photographer. And I actually used one of the sessions that we had here. Somebody was doing, I think, her name was Lisa, but she had some cool ideas of night photography. So my husband and I were out in the dark, swinging a headlamp around to get that shot on the left. The middle one, the prompt was macro photography. You can do anything you want with macro photography. The one on the very right to you is color temperature is obviously what it is. If you don't recognize it, I went to the Twinsburg Festival Parade to catch morning light. So that's an example of where we can try and figure out where we go. If you're not familiar with 52 Frames, every week, thousands of people submit their photos, and then they have a committee that selects 52 picks of the week, and they put them in a special album. It's kind of a nice distinguishing honor. And the prompt for this week was street photography. And this is not my photo. This is actually my husband's photo. You may recognize, so street photography, we actually went to Kent, ran around with art trying to take pictures of people on the street, and we ended up in our backyard. We live in Peninsula. If you recognize, this is the scenic railroad train. And that man was walking very slowly, and I think the train was moving in the opposite direction. Omar doesn't know this, but this photo was taken on when I was a mentee of Omar. and he took us to downtown Cleveland. I don't know if it was a Saturday or a Sunday morning. We were walking around. If you look very closely, these are fire escapes, but I've turned it 90 degrees. So you get a slightly different perspective on what's there. The prompt for this particular one was triangle composition. So it made me look at the world a little differently for a week, and it was chosen as one of the 52 picks. This other one, this was also a 52 pick, and this was, the subject of the prompt was bathrooms. This is the public restroom at the Denver airport. And to take a photo in a public place like that was a challenge. It was actually my husband's idea. It was a fantastic bathroom, very unique. But he determined that he'd probably get arrested if he was trying to take a photo in a restroom, and sent me in by myself in the ladies' room. And I like the intentional movement. I like ICM. So blurred specifically, I like the little pops of color and so on. And apparently others did because it was picked as a 52 pick. A couple others, also prompted by a CPS event on a Friday night. There was someone who talked about intentional camera movement, multiple exposure. So the one on the left, the prompt was nature. It's a multi-exposure one as a different way to look at the scenery around us. The one on the right I chose because that was taken with an iPhone. The prompt on that was imitate another framer. They call 52 framers framers. And there was a shot that was, I think, a drive-in movie theater. And I tried to emulate something around that. That's actually Devil's Tower at a campground. But it was taken on an iPhone. So I want to just reiterate the idea of any skill level can have some fun with 52 frames. There's an element of the consistency and creativity, which I hope you're picking up. And then the last one was, I put it up there. The subject was reflections, and that was I was in Ireland. I wanted to point out that also on 52 frames, you're allowed to put up a couple paragraphs and to give some background of why you took the photo or what you were thinking. And for me, I find that a great reflection, pun intended, because that was the prompt that week, of what did I do? How might I do it differently next time? What mistakes did I make? What did I learn? And then they also share you can have the opportunity to share behind the scenes photos. So for me, this is all about any level. Let's connect. Let's try something new. Let's learn together and have some fun. So what questions do you have?
All right. I'm amazed you don't have more questions. Those presentations were, I don't know, you just want to sign up with everybody. I wish there was a way to do that. So, all right, a couple of notes. Requesting a mentor notes. There's a page before this, because this is continued. How do I do this? Could you go back one? All right. In 2 slides, there will be a QR code linked to the registration page on the CPS website. Select your first, second, and third choices. Pay special attention to your choices' availability. This is first come, first served. There's a chance spots will fill up, so please register early. Again, before we do post the QR code and it's ready, set, go, please double check your schedule, because they were each presenter, each mentor, I think, spoke very clearly about when they were available. And so if you know right off the bat that you are not available, please don't take someone else's slot and sign up for them. Sign up for those people who best match your availability. Okay, next. Your request must be submitted by 9 p.m. on Sunday. It is 8:30 now, so you have 1 week. No. Sunday, September 7th. The assignment process begins Monday, September 8th. That's my job. That's when I'm going to go ahead and take everyone who has signed up. I will contact the mentors, tell them who they have, give them the contact information, and then the mentor will get in touch with you and say, you're in my group. After that, if the mentors you selected are full, someone from the mentorship committee, I think that's me and Eric, we will contact you and let you know. And hopefully that won't be a problem, but we never know. Also, before we conclude, for the night, unless you do have any other questions. I would like to say thank you very much to Eric for putting together this entire presentation. Yes, CPS is very, very lucky to have him. David? Okay, David just said that he's leaving for Alaska soon and that he won't be back by the 11th. When do you return? Okay. Okay, so he's going to be back sometime in the third week of September. So that means that if you do sign up for him, there might be a short delay for when he gets in touch with you. So good. Yeah, thank you for letting us know. Is there...
Yes, I'd like to add one thing. For all these great slides that Eric made about everyone's availability and whatnot too, this is on our YouTube channel. So if you forget and you want to go look back again, just look on our YouTube channel and relook the broadcast. Just stop where you want and you could get to all of these slides with the availability.
Good. Okay, and Eric? Okay, so there's a page on the website, there's a page on YouTube. This information is out there for you, so it shouldn't be a problem. Those of you that did show up tonight, obviously you have the advantage. You get first signups. So when the QR code is posted, it goes to you first. And then those who are watching at home, they will be delayed by, I believe, 1 hour. And then, again, if you're still deciding, you'll have about a week to decide. So if there are no more questions, thank you very...
Just add the one thing that
Okay.
Eric said so they make sure they're here. For everyone at home and here too, all this information is also on the website under the mentoring section.
All right, are we ready? Okay. Drum roll, please. There you are. Oh, one last thing. Sorry to interrupt your thought processes here. 3, please do not just sign up for one. Sign up for your first choice, your second choice, and your third choice. Thank you.